For no rusty piece of shit. Got every intention of making it sick. Hey guys, welcome back. Thought I'd throw up a disclaimer because I've been doing a bit of mechanical work. I am a qualified panel beater, so that doesn't make me a mechanic. So my videos aren't meant to be tutorials, they're just to show you what I'm up to. So don't follow my directions because I could be doing it wrong for all I know. I'm here teaching myself. I've never built a motor before, not to the extent that I'm going to with the motor that's coming. I've done stuff like this before with fitting heads to motors, but I've never really done a full rebuild on an engine before. So yeah, it's a big learning experience. I've still got to work out the timing, make sure that I've got everything dialed in correctly and all of that. So that's all going to be new to me. So anyway, as I said, I'm not a mechanic, so don't do what I do. Another thing is, I've been thinking about it, and because my business that I'm trying to get off the ground is going to be going under the name of Resto Revival, I think I'm going to change my YouTube channel also to that name. So it'll be in the next couple of weeks because I'm going to have to make up a new intro thing. Like I've got the hand-built one at the moment. There's going to have to be a new one with Resto Revival on it. So okay, that's about that. I'm just putting the sump on at the moment, so that's not very exciting. I'm not spending a lot of time on this motor because I am building a proper motor. It's almost ready to come home. It only needs, I think they're up to honing the bores and that's it. That's all that's left to go. And then I can go pick it up. I'm building this motor to put it in, as I've said before, so I can start driving the car again. And then I'm going to take my damn sweet time to rebuild the other motor properly because I want it to work. I want it to work well. I want it to work better than new. So yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of time on the cleaning up the ports where they need them and setting up the timing properly with the dialing in the cam and all of that. And I've still got to buy water pumps and oil pumps and new clutch flywheel assemblies, so on and so on. So that's why I'm building this motor, well, putting this motor together for a stopgap in the meantime. The third thing I was going to say is I'm going to change the name of the channel one more time because I have been in the process of trying to get my restoration business off the ground. My Facebook page for my restoration business is Resto Revival. So now I've decided I'm going to call my YouTube channel Resto Revival. Now that change isn't going to happen this week or maybe not even next week. I've still got to design a intro thing to replace the hand-built one. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I've just been working on putting the sump on the motor. That's pretty boring, so I haven't bothered filming it. Got to clean the sump up because it's filthy. I probably should have done that before I put it on the motor, but I'm impatient. So yeah, next just little things like I've got to put the oil pump back in, and then it's pretty much ready to go back in the car. So I'm going to have to clean the gearbox up a bit and find all the clutch assembly and everything. So yeah, we're nearly there. I'd like to say I'd like to start it this weekend, but I'm not sure whether that's going to happen. probably by the following weekend I might be able to start it, but we'll see how we go, hey? All right, I'm going to do some more and then I'll get back to you. Okay guys, I've had a bit of feedback from some of my viewers. Been doing stuff a little bit wrong. As I said, I'm not a mechanic, so I appreciate the feedback, and unlike some others, I will actually listen and I'll read the comments. So if I'm doing anything wrong, it's much appreciated when you bring it up, because a guy named Dave WM from the States, he brought to my attention that probably should have put the cam and cam towers on before I put the rocker arms on, because I've pulled it down onto the rocker arms and now the cam's probably not lined up properly and it could bind. So I'm going to take all the rocker arms off. I'll probably have to take the cam wheel off the front and see if the cam's spinning freely. If not, I'll loosen it off and see if I can line it up a bit better. Also had a bit of feedback from Rob White. Thanks for that. All helps good. Okay, anyway guys, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take all the rocker arms off and then we'll see what we're looking at. Okay, it occurred to me to get the cam followers out, the rocker arms, I'd have to turn the motor, and I don't want to turn the motor right now because I don't know how badly the cam might be binding, and I don't want to do any damage to the cam bearings. I've just made up a wooden chock with a rope on it, and I've wedged it in there so that hopefully I don't lose my cam tensioner again, because I've just finished putting all the timing cover and everything back on with fresh gasket sealer. I don't want to have to take it all off again. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to take all this off, and hopefully we will be fine. Cam's back on. There's no tight spots. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the valve clearances as I put the valves on. It's got to be done again when the motor's hot anyway. It's just so I can keep track of which ones are done. So I'm going to start. Ready to go in? Show you what I did with the battery. This is very rough. This is temporary. But drilled these holes on these little tabs that I welded on. I want to make a new one, a brand new one from scratch, by the way. This is just so I can get a battery in it and have somewhere for it to sit, so I can move it around the place. I'm making it removable so I can clean underneath it, because they like to rust out there because of all the battery acid. But put these nutserts in so I can just bolt it into place. Simple. So I'm going to lift the engine up and I'm going to put you on time lapse. Time lapse. Let's go. little bit of a fail. The last part of the video wasn't recording. I thought I pressed the button, but mustn't have. But it's in. It's in. Gotta clean it up a little bit more later on after it's all done. But yeah. Dressing the carbies right up, but at the moment it's just a waste of time as far as I'm concerned, because they're temporary. I'll clean them up a little bit, but they'll be all right for now. Yeah. So I didn't get my shed cleaned up. It's still a mess because I didn't get quite as far as I wanted to get on my 260Z, but the motor's in. You already know that, but just been doing all the little fiddly bits today, and that takes up more time than what I expected. So, well, I kind of did expect it, but I got, still got little things to go, like most of the wiring's done, except for I've got to put the coil on and put all the plug leads on in the right spot and all that, but all the rest of the wiring's pretty much done. Fuel lines, just done a makeshift fuel line for now until I can get myself some proper T-pieces, and I might actually return it back into the tank again like it's supposed to be. Yeah, I haven't hooked up. I've got to get a new fuel filter. I'm going to start it up just with a bottle of petrol, gasoline, whatever you want to call it, fuel. Just so the fuel pump doesn't have to pull as hard to get it out of the tank, and then I'll fill the carbies up and then I'll connect it all up. Fans on. Radiator's still got to go in. It's sitting over there against the wall. Got to hook up the tail shaft, the clutch, exhaust. I've got to put the rest of the exhaust in, and I've got to get some new brake pads for my Hilux calipers before they go in. So I'll probably, if I want to move it between now and then, probably going to just use the handbrake to stop it. I'm not going out on the road like that. Don't worry about that. Oh, I've got to put the horns in too. That's very important. But I've had enough for today. Sunday, got to work tomorrow. I'm going to go inside and relax in a minute. But first, I'm going to choose the guitar and I'm going to sit down and have a play for a while. Probably the Epiphone. Or that. Or that. I don't know. But, you get the idea. See you next week, guys. If you can subscribe and all that, that'll be fine. I'd be okay with that. See you guys.